Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest myths that I've wanted to debunk for a long time now, and it's one of the weirder ones that I don't really get. Sometimes it's really difficult to prove things from 1,000 years ago. Vikings didn't tend to leave us diaries telling us if they preferred Pepsi or Coke or neither of the above. Pepsi, obviously, Coke is cancer. But sometimes it's really easy to prove stuff from 1,000 years ago, and this is one of those times. Today we're going to discuss medieval people drinking water. So a lot of people seem to think that medieval people didn't drink water because water in the medieval period wasn't cleaned and treated in the way that water is now. They didn't have reservoirs and filtering systems and various additives like we do today with modern plumbing. But the thing is, our bodies are designed to drink water. That's something instinctive that we've known for thousands and thousands of years. And people in the past knew that as well. It wasn't that they couldn't and didn't drink water, it's that we think that they couldn't drink the water. Another really important thing to bear in mind is people today drink water that isn't safe to drink. Millions of people all over the world don't have access to clean, safe drinking water. Does that stop them from drinking water? No, because if it's the choice between definitely dying of thirst and potentially dying from a waterborne disease, the majority of us will take the gamble. It was the same in the past. In the 1st century AD, Pliny the Elder actually writes about boiling water to make it safe to drink. Paul of Aegina talks about drinking water as well, and they both talk about how it's better to take your water from a clean source, running, clear, undisturbed by animal feces and urine, not covered in mosquitoes and insects, not smelling of anything, not tasting of anything, and not coloured, are all things that they looked for in their drinking water. So 2,000 years ago and 1,300 years ago, in the case of Paul, people were already writing about how you could source clean, safe drinking water. In the 9th, I think, century, a French abbot, whose name I believe was Lupus Servatus, talks about taking a clean, nutritious, healthy drink of water from a well or a brook or a clear running stream, rather than from standing water. So, in the early medieval period, we've already got people in France talking about drinking water. In the 10th century, Alfric's colloquy, which is basically this dialogue between a fictional monk and an interviewer, talks to this friar, and he asks this friar, "Und what drinkest du?" And what do you drink? And the friar responds, "Ale, if ich habe, und if ich nabe ale, water." Ale, if I have it, and if I don't have it, water. Und drinkest du Wein? Do you drink wine? No, mate. Wine is for the ladies. So we've got early medieval British people talking about drinking water when they don't have access to beer. Now, the Venerable Bede in the 6th century, wait, no, he was writing about the 6th century. The Venerable Bede, writing about a 6th century Northumbrian king called Edwin. Here's a map of where Northumbria is in relation to the other British kingdoms of the time. Bede talks about Edwin putting bronze cups up, hammering stakes into the roadside, and putting bronze cups, hanging them from them, so that people could drink from springs. Now, if you couldn't drink the water back then, that is an act of intentional mass murder. But instead, it was a beautiful thing to do so that people could keep hydrated and refreshed on long road journeys by foot or horse. So people could drink the water, and did drink the water. So where's the idea that they only drank beer? Well, beer was really popular. Up until the Victorian period, people called the froth that appears on beer God is good, or a gift from God. They believed that brewing was almost a kind of magic, that God was making this water into something that tastes pretty wild, that has an interesting magical property and it gets you drunk, and that is somehow magically safe to drink, as opposed to some of that weird, slightly brown stuff that you'd been drinking from the well before that seems to make you poop and puke yourself to death on a regular basis. You don't need a medical degree to know that. So where does this idea that medieval people only drank booze come from? Well, it's basically a modern idea since the discovery that untreated, unfiltered water harbours germs. With the idea of germ theory, we got the idea that people before germ theory couldn't possibly have drunk untreated water. Nowadays, obviously, as I said, we know that's not true because people all over the world are forced to drink dirty water if that's the only thing available. But from the Renaissance onwards, there was this idea that water might be bad for you in certain situations. One of the English physicians of the 17th century, for example, suggests that pregnant women do not drink water, and instead an Italian physician suggested on top of that that they stick to wine, because wine might not disrupt your humours. Humour theory, by the way, is something I want to do a video on at some point, but it basically means that there are substances inside your body like blood and black bile and yellow bile and phlegm that have to be in perfect balance. That's not true, obviously. We know that's not how your bodies work, but 400 years ago, that was enough for people to stop drinking water when they were pregnant and stick to wine, which is obviously not ideal. Effectively, there were people in the Renaissance saying, don't drink water. But there were also people in the Renaissance saying, no, absolutely drink mineral water. Mineral water, super good for you. Contains lots of minerals and lots of vitamins. Well, not vitamins, because they didn't really know what vitamins were, but you know what I mean. It contains stuff that was good for you. And that's true. Please drink more water. All of you, drink more water. So, did people in the medieval period drink water? Yeah, they did. They drank a lot of water. If you couldn't afford wine, you drank beer. If you couldn't afford beer, you drank water. Or milk. Or both. Or you just went outside, found some fruit, stuck it in some water over a couple of days, and then you had a fruit beer. Beer's not difficult to make. All you need is some kind of organic matter that can ferment, and some water, and a couple of days, and you've basically made a pretty nasty beer. So there you go, medieval people definitely drank water. If you guys have got any other weird water or booze-based medieval remedies, then please throw them in the comments. I'd love to see some more of these kinds of things. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do like, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, that'd be amazing. I'm trying to get this channel to grow a little bit, so thank you very much for all your support so far, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.